Yo, 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 welcome to another edition of the Geeky Bros Podcast. I'm your boy Tactix.
Yo, it's just Darcy here.
And this is Big Geek Umar. How y'all doing today?
Why you always say that so aggressive? Like, how y'all doing today?
Because I'm happy, y'all.
You're like all up in the camera, bro. Like, how y'all doing today? Y'all better say you good.
Tell me what you think.
Y'all two need a minute or something? Yo? Like, is there a meeting we need to start?
I had some mild sugar before this.
Some mild sugar.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Pull a lollipop, you know? It's just like Rambo.
Rambo?
Extremes.
Oh.
Exactly.
All right, let's bring it back.
All right. So, we're going to start off with traditionally with Geeky News. But frankly, our Geeky News has been fairly focused towards a lot of trailers came out this week, y'all. Like, it's just like, let's just dive right in. First trailer, the second Suicide Squad trailer came out. Directed by James Gunn with like a huge cast. So y'all watch it?
Yeah.
I literally just watched it. Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys think? Darcy, let's start with you.
Yo, this actually got me hyped. The first trailer didn't quite do it for me. Something about it fell a little bit off. But this one got me hyped. It actually, the way I want to say this is because we have some of the cast from the original and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. This felt like what the other movie was supposed to be. In terms of like what we were kind of anticipating. I'm not saying like in terms of exactly what David Ayer's like exact vision was. That's not what I'm trying to articulate. But more like it had all the cool fun stuff that the trailer's supposed to have in a Suicide Squad movie, like the last one did. But it actually looks like the movie has it this time and not the trailer, right? It had good energy. It looked like it had some good action. There was a level of groundedness in it and yet fantasticalness at the same time. Like there's a lot of action and like Idris Elba's part, just like that superhero stance that he had where his knee wasn't all the way to the ground, but he was kind of like when Deadpool's like superhero landing, he almost had that kind of like pose where he looked like he was beat up at the beginning of it. And I was like, yeah, this like something about this feels like it's going to be a really good ride and it's going to make up for and replace the original. You know what I mean? Like in the sense of like, yes, this film is going to be good. We can forget the other one. This is what we're supposed to get the whole time.
Yeah, I can kind of see them like that's why they kind of named it the Suicide Squad as opposed to like Suicide Squad 2. Yeah, exactly. They don't want to even mention the previous one. So,
Yeah.
How about you, Tactics? What do you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot more than the first trailer that we got, so I agree with Darcy on that one. Yeah, it looks like a fun ride, man. I chuckled quite a bit in the trailer, so yeah, I'm curious to see where they take this. I feel like this is like their sign of redemption, so to speak, for the shit show that was the original Suicide Squad. So I'm hoping that they can kind of. So I know you're not gonna like this, Umar, but similar to what we got in terms of redemption for the Justice League, I feel like this is their second go around at redemption for the Suicide Squad. So I'm hoping that this actually does really well and that we get a good, nice, action-packed ride out of this. Like, I'm not really going in it for the storyline. I just want to see some really cool action scenes. The storyline has to be there to a certain extent, but I'm not expecting Dark Knight level type of a movie, right? Just give me something good, something enjoyable.
Okay, so let me follow up both of you with asking: are you guys wanting at least Guardians of the Galaxy level good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, because I don't know I don't know any of these characters. Their costumes look ridiculous, so it's kind of like taking me out of it a little bit. But I'm hoping that the movie is so good that it at least can kind of make me forget how ridiculous a lot of these characters look. Like John Cena's character looks fucking terrible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say, but he looks like trash. But hopefully, like, you know, the movie actually delivers on like a decent storyline and good action to keep me invested and keep me entertained. That's all I'm really looking for at this point.
And humor.
Yeah, I mean it's James Gunn, so I'm sure there's going to be a substantial amount of humor sprinkled in there, along with some good action. I'm hoping that he actually brings it up a couple notches above that of Guardians of the Galaxy for me. So, because I mean, DC definitely needs a win right now.
Oh, good God,
They
yeah.
need a lot of wins, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping that this is like the start of something good, and then we continue on this trajectory and like continue to make really good movies or have really good movies from the DC world. So,
Yeah, because DC didn't even get Wonder Woman like they did last time.
no, they didn't. Justice League, I mean, but again, they shat the bed originally, so now it's just redemption at this point.
And going back to your point, I will admit the Snyder cut Justice League is better than Joss Whedon's cut Justice League. So like, in a way, there was still redemption. It's just like for me, I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. Darcy, how about you? Like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Well, actually, we're talking about the heart of the film. Even though it felt like the same idea from the first original movie, where there was Idris Elba's character has a daughter, blah blah blah. The whole fact that the daughter was being used by Amanda Waller was immediately like, that's Amanda Waller, 100%. And
Agreed.
I loved how it was like everyone's like guns up, and she's like there, no flinch. Put your guns down, kind of like tone, where it's like it doesn't matter that he has in less than an inch literally from killing her. She just doesn't care because she knows she has the leverage. Like that's how she is. She's like, you could have the knife in the skin, but she knows she's got the leverage, so she knows she's gonna win.
I will say that Viola Davis, even in the old shitty ass like Suicide Squad movie, she owned Amanda Waller. She got her right. Like, it almost feels like like they were trying to change the character, and she was like, "No, this is how it's supposed to be done."
And I agree with you in that, but I feel like the story might actually support her now, right? Like she kills it in both times, but now it feels like I saw the stuff with the daughter and I saw like, oh, that's my dad on TV, and I'm like, there might be a little bit of story love in here that I'm not exactly asking for, but I might actually enjoy. There's something about this that if it executes well, if this is like an 8 to a 9 on our ratings, right? Like collectively, if it comes out there, this might be tonally what I've been wanting from the DC for like this entire time, where we're been up and down and inconsistency. I can't get the word, but anyways, the point being is that like they might have this like tone between action, comedy, and superhero elements kind of done well in this film. If it lives up to the promise. If it fails at the promise, then whatever it fails at won't be quite what it is. But it's what I've wanted from this whole time. Besides the Batman, with like the new one that's coming up, because that's totally a whole different thing, and I like that tone specifically. Yeah. But Umar, what about you, man? What do you think of this?
So for me, I will say that like I didn't have a lot of hopes for this movie, mostly because it's James Gunn, and I kind of figured he would knock it out of the park. I felt at the absolute very least or absolute worst, we would get Guardians of the Galaxy 2 level film from this, which would be miles ahead of what we got from the last Suicide Squad. So yeah. I felt really safe about this movie. I still found myself enjoying this trailer. I'm with you guys. It's almost I feel bad thinking this, but I kind of put all my hopes on DC's redemption on this movie, and look, it just hit the right buttons for me. John Cena, killing it. Viola Davis, we just talked about, killing it. Joel McKinnon, surprisingly, I actually didn't hate him in this. Idris Elba
he's pretty good. I like Joel McKinnon. He just doesn't get good chances, but he's actually pretty good.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, he has a tendency of getting kind of like blah characters. Like even in Altered Carbon, I felt he actually had the chops of actually being given range, and then the show didn't go anywhere. So I was like, I guess, but nonetheless,
second season.
No, not with him in it.
No,
Yeah,
not with him in it, but that's whole part of the premise. But even I liked him in RoboCop, and like I know RoboCop's not an amazing film, but I actually really enjoyed him in RoboCop to the point that it made me come back and rewatch it years later because I wanted to see his performance, mostly in that whole thing where he realizes his whole body's gone and his head looks down.
Which
and
is what I
that
was going to say. That is the only scene I actually liked. Well, that was the only scene I liked in the movie.
Yeah, and it's just like it's because his performance. Yeah, the rest of the film fell apart, and it's because it's film.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to this movie like I always was. This trailer specifically just reinforced that I feel further safe in my hopes for a good film.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, moving on. So next trailer in the bunch that we got was Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe Origins film. And actually, hold up. Tactix, how about you let us know what you thought?
Damn. Okay.
He wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, I was not. I was in between pictures, yo. So I enjoyed the second trailer a lot more than the first one. As a whole, I'm still reserving judgment because whilst I watched both G.I. Joe films back in the day. Was never really a big fan of G.I. Joe to begin with. I grew up with it, but it wasn't really my shit. But from the movies that we got a couple years back, Snake Eyes was probably like my favorite character in the entire franchise. Both movies, right?
Yeah.
What made him interesting was this ninja who was sworn to silence until he avenged the death of his master, from what I remember. So that made him extra cool. And now we're going back back to his origins of how he started, and like that has an interesting element that I'm curious to see in terms of how that all pans out. Can he carry a whole film? It's to be determined. I don't actually know yet. And if this does well and we get another sequel from this, is it going to be on that same trope of like him being a silent ninja, avenging his master or whatever? Like, so I don't know. I like what I see so far. I'm not super excited for it, but the action looks pretty cool, and there's enough there to keep my interest, right? So I guess we'll see when it comes out. But yeah, I enjoyed the trailer. I enjoyed this trailer a lot more than I did the first one. So yeah, Snake Eyes.
Darcy?
So one, let's just call this what we need to say about this. I am super glad we got rid of the lips that we saw in one of the other films. I was Googling the old suits and I'm like, something about this suit, like what is different about it? And I found one of the old pictures and he actually has the lips in the old one. I'm like, who? It doesn't make any sense. But anyways, calling that piece out. Actually, I gotta call it, I love the new suit. Even though it's like an origin suit. But this film looks like the action is going to be super badass. Mm-hmm. But I've seen the other two G.I. Joe films, and it's like a Transformers series, where it's like, this shit look like it's going to be good, but I know it's going to screw up somewhere. So, like the last film, you're like, oh yeah, they're bringing The Rock, and this is going to be amazing. And they killed off, what's his name, like immediately. What's his name? The comedian, action star, Channing Tatum, yeah. So I was so super excited to see Channing Tatum and The Rock together. And then I got like Channing Tatum dies immediately. You're like I literally was in the movie theater feeling like,
oh god, look at that.
Yeah, look at those lips. Like, I mean, it makes no sense. Like, it's so dumb. So like immediately, like the last film, I was just like, I wanted to leave right when Channing Tatum died because I was like, what am I signing up for? Like if you told me this was like Hobbs and Shaw, cool. But you don't go be like, yeah, Vin Diesel and The Rock, and then kill Vin Diesel and be like, that's the movie. like what? That's not what I paid for. But anyways, it looks like it's gonna be good, but I know it's gonna crap the bed. And funny to my comparison earlier when Tactix said when we were young and you grew up with it, I grew up with this, but whenever the Transformers was on, I would always flip to Transformers instead. So yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say for me, I'm going to borrow from Tactix's line and say, "I don't give a shit." Uh,
I don't care. Get it right.
I'm turning my own spin, so I'm not copywriting.
Try not to plagiarize.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut up.
I honestly don't remember G.I. Joe as much from my childhood. Like, it's one of the cartoons that like has completely, almost entirely gone from my memory. I never thought to go check it out again. Snake Eyes, I agree, is the only like interesting character, but like again, I don't really care. I saw the trailer. I thought it was okay. I feel that this movie is going to be a almost good film in terms of action and stuff like that. But I guess we'll see. Nonetheless, I will check it out because COVID and what else is there to do. But this was the least anticipated film for me, and also the least interesting trailer I saw this week.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be like an action might be a 7 or 8, and the story is gonna be a 3, and that's gonna bring it down to like a 4.5.
Exactly. I'm expecting a 5 movie at best.
Yeah, like I'm just like the action looks really good, and I'm like it's I feel like it's gonna end up being like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, exactly.
Like with a bigger budget. That's about it.
All right, moving on. So to our final trailer that we are going to talk about in this podcast, and that was from Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings. I think that's the right title. So the trailer dropped last night. It is the second trailer of the film. So I got to ask, what do you guys think? Tactics, let's start with you again.
Hold up. I didn't even know this was a topic today.
What?
Yo, move. Go to Darcy. Go to Darcy. I gotta set this shit up.
Okay,
So let me slide in here. Okay. Yeah. I gotta say, this for me, I'm gonna steal from myself. But this was like Suicide Squad. Like, this actually got me hyped. This seemed like more interesting. Weirdly enough, I gotta say this, but like the fact that Snake Eyes and this are happening at the same time, there's just some similarity in the action department, but not the same by all means, because this is like on a bigger level. There's almost like a Black Panther-esque level in terms of having an ethnic origin to the superhero like moments, but then there's the very much like Hidden Tiger, Crouching Dragon kind of vibe also happening, and it's interestingly. Yeah, thank you. I knew I was going to screw that up. I'm trying, bro. I didn't watch the movie. I just know his name. But anyways,
that's a picture. That's a picture right there.
Yeah, and the fact that we also got what's his name back
Abomination.
This is going to be interesting. An expansion of the universe with him being in here. So one, from a Marvel perspective, I'm actually really hyped now, especially seeing this. Two, it's definitely stepping it up. But there's a weird similarity in the action between this and Snake Eyes at the same time. Like, there's just some moments where I was like, yeah, okay, interesting. But this, I actually feel like it's going to be an actually good film, and I'm excited for it. And I think it doesn't stand a chance of falling this far. But at worst, it's going to be like a rating or two higher than Captain Marvel, but I think it's going to be actually impressive. But I'm also really interested to see what happens when this comes out, and if it still gets boycotted in China, or if it is impressive enough that maybe some people change their mind. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious to see, like, is it going to come out and be really culturally actually positive, or whitewashed? We'll find out.
Okay. T, are you ready now?
Yeah, I'm finally ready. All right,
man. All right, let's go.
So, I like the trailer. I enjoyed the second trailer a little bit more. One thing I will say though is the Mandarin right now. That is the Mandarin, right? He's not really doing it for me right now. To be honest, he doesn't come off as super menacing, and maybe that's a little premature considering that it's only a trailer and we haven't seen the actual movie. But I found what's his name?
Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, I found his Mandarin, even though it turns out, spoiler alert, he actually wasn't the Mandarin, was a lot more convincing. Like, this guy just seems more like a typical angry Asian dad that you see when you go over to your homie's house. Like, it's like, yeah, he's not really, yeah, like, it doesn't come off as a villain. It just comes off as like, oh, you got a bad grade and you're angry. You know what I mean? Like,
I love that reference because we've all had that experience.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so it's just like, yeah, like I grew up with a lot, like I had a lot of Asian friends growing up, right? So like I would go over to their place and I'd meet their dads, and it's like, yeah, your dad is the Mandarin. It's just like, it's no different than, you know, what I'm seeing this trailer, right? So I don't know, I'm not fully convinced yet. You know what I mean? Like, but again, maybe it's just premature. But I was expecting more. It was. So I'm a little underwhelmed by that. But overall, the trailer looks cool. I'm a little confused in terms of Abomination showing up. Like, where is this in the timeline? Do you guys know? Like, because as far as I know, Abomination was captured in the second Hulk movie. So is this like, is this before that, or is it after? Well, actually, it couldn't be before that.
No.
So,
This is. I think like I would say that they're definitely going to be going back in time because apparently Mandarin has been around for a while. So I think that this is going to be current though, like current day.
You know what could happen though, because he said he was captured, but then the snap happened. So he could have maybe survived the snap, and then his captivation was pretty much over because no one was there to keep him, and then he just, now things are, he's out in the wild,
or he's under the control of the Mandarin.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also like Wong is in this movie from
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, yeah.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I can buy into that. Yeah. It was a little off-putting at first. I was like, wait, is that Abomination? And then like all these sites confirmed it. So yeah, a little interesting to see. I was just curious as to where he is in the timeline in terms of that reference. But yeah, overall, my opinion is I enjoy it. I think it's going to be a nice, fun ride, and I'm excited for it.
Nice. For me, I gotta say that this was my favorite trailer of the week. Throughout the trailer, I was like, oh, and then like a couple times, I'm like, holy shit, and then at the end, I was like, holy shit. So nonetheless, I was very much affected by this trailer. I gotta say, I'm happy to see more Tony Leung. I am a fan of him from like his Asian films, and I also see what you're trying. I think they're doing it. I hope they're doing it on purpose. That they're trying to make it a more subtle Mandarin, where he becomes more menacing as time goes on. But like, I see what you mean, because like when I saw the trailer for Iron Man 3 and like we had the Mandarin in that one, I was kind of like, Ben Kingsley looks like he's going to kill it. And then I saw the movie, I'm like, Ben Kingsley killed it in a very, very opposite direction. So,
I mean, he was good to a point.
Oh, yeah.
For what he was doing, he did a good job. But like, they shouldn't have done that. But anyway.
Yeah.
Tony Leung, I completely agree with you, Tactix. This is like when you go over, go to your Asian friend's house and he asks his parents if you could stay for dinner. And it's kind of like, it's like,
yeah, like you scary, but you're not like villain scary. You're not, you know what I mean? Like, I'd come over again. Like, you know what I mean?
Either that or the writer's just letting a Freudian slip that that's basically how he sees his father, a supervillain.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So anyway, I have faith in Tony Leung. I think he can. I think he can pull it off. I have to say, I was really surprised to see Michelle Yeoh in it, because she has played a Marvel character before. So I think they're just, well, yeah. So like almost, I think they're going to start reusing actors for MCU, because like it's been Michelle Yeoh, it's Gemma Chan, and who's Star-Lord's mom's name? I can't remember her name, but like those three people have all reprised their roles in other films. So I guess we'll see. Oh, and what's her name? She was in Luke Cage. Oh my God, Alfie Woodard. She was in Civil War.
Man, you're really good with names.
Yeah, you killing it. I'm just still over here googling what else was Michelle Yeoh in for Marvel.
She was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
And I'm over here
Oh.
googling that. Like, who is that again?
Did you Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Okay, yeah, rung a bell.
Yeah, the one I can't name.
Well, you named it. You just in the wrong order.
That's a failure. Let's be honest here. Yeah.
Hey, it'll still show up in Google if you type that shit in.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's all good.
If I was a teacher, I would give that a half mark.
Yeah, I'm sure people in the comments will give it a negative. So, but in Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm just googling a picture of it. It's like she was in a minor role, right?
Yeah, she was with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, I feel like if they put people in minor roles or roles like that one, they're not actually gonna like bring to fruition. Then I feel like it's not a big deal because if you can't really remember the role, upgrade them. Give them promotion. So,
all right, yeah. So anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing this movie, and this trailer just made it even more for me. All right,
dope.
Moving on. Smallville animated series rumors. I didn't want to believe it, and then I saw it, and apparently Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling are wipe that smile off your face, bro. Come on now. Anyway, Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling, they're getting together and they're wanting to make a animated series that continues the Smallville storyline for an 11th season because 10 season wasn't enough torture for the rest of us. Anyway, so these are the rumors. This is what's in development. For the love of God. And they've also said that they want to kind of get as many of the old cast as they can. I don't think they can for Allison Mack.
Yeah. She's written off, bro.
Chloe died. But, we'll just start with you, Tactix. What do you think of this news?
Yo, come on, man. Smallville is a guilty pleasure for me. I'll agree with every hateful comment that's out there about this show. Like, I can't defend it, so I just don't bother trying. But honestly, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I grew up on this show. I was so excited, and you know me, I'm a Batman dude, right? But when I was really drawn to the whole idea of, a show based around Superman before he became Superman and developing his powers, because for me that's part of what makes Superman so interesting, right? I mean, there's other stuff as well, but I like the powers, and I like seeing people learn how to master or hone their powers. That's kind of why I like a lot of these superhero origin stories, because just getting them seeing how they adapt and develop their powers is interesting to me, right? And if you can do it in a creative and unique way every time, then you have my attention, right? So part of the reason why I want this is because they gave us a shit final season. I mean, okay, so they gave us a lot of shit seasons, right?
The final season.
Again, I can't defend it, but I would have forgave them for the previously shitty seasons had they just ended on a better note. And they dropped the ball a lot in this show. A lot. I can't defend it, right? But I would I wouldn't mind seeing an animated continuation of this. And I wouldn't mind seeing an animated continuation of Buffy, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying that because I've been watching a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yo, actually, okay, just to interject, where are you in that?
I'm excuse me. I'm almost at season 5. They
shit!
Yeah, they just killed Adam, the Frankenstein machine guy. Yeah.
Yo, okay.
No, but you were right. So that. Sorry to go a little off topic, but this season was kind of hit or miss for me, to be honest. It got better near the tail end, and I hear season 5 is a lot better. So I'm interested to see where they take that. But anyway, going back to Smallville. Yeah, I would love to see a continuation and just see where this goes. But at the same time, I know we were just talking about there's another Superman animated show coming out as well, so
Yeah,
it might be a little overkill at this point. So
we're gonna have 3 Superman franchises all on TV.
yeah, well, if I had to choose between any of the three, then it'd be the one on CW right now for sure, hands down. I love that show. I love this show still.
Okay, hold up. We're gonna get to that. All right,
Yeah.
Darcy, your thoughts on the Smallville and the potential of the Smallville animated series.
I could give a shit. I do not care. I'm like,
And I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you.
I feel you in that making up for the way that it ended. Like I feel your pain in that, but I just don't care. Like every time I think of Smallville, the thing that my brain goes back to is a stupid conversation between Clark and Brainiac standing in like some shed at some point. And I'm like, that was not Brainiac. This is so dumb. Like every time I think of that image, I'm just like, hate them. I hate that visual. But yeah, I mean, if I see a trailer and it surprises me, then my interest will go up to like a lukewarm temperature. And
Okay.
then I'll probably watch it at boredom. But
but here's the thing, and I'm not defending it. Keep in mind, I'm not trying to defend it. But what
That
if?
should be
Okay,
your new hashtag. Like,
I'm just-
not defending it.
but I'm just saying, like, okay, so you see how we kind of went in with reservations regarding the Superman and Lois show, and it ended up surpassing our low expectations. What if it's like this is the same kind of scenario, like especially animated, where they can probably get away with a lot more stuff? What if they made it like Harley Quinn or some shit, and they made it really dark and like, yeah.
One, if they make it dark, that doesn't work. Because like how you can continue a show but change the tone entirely. It's like two different shows. But no. Here's the thing. I will agree with you. That's actually a point I was thinking but forgot to mention. Is that they could probably do better with an animated show. And the actors, especially the gentleman who plays Lex Luthor, because his voice, like he's acting. Yeah, he's done Lex Luthor voice acting before.
He's the Flash from Justice League.
Oh, true. But he's done a Lex Luthor before voice acting too, didn't he? At one point, like he did it for one of the animated movies. I think he did one. But I like I like his performance, and I think there's a lot that can be done. Where they can improve it. I just don't really care until I'm shown something that makes me want to care about the show, because I'm like, no, there's just like especially when you're saying continuation of all of that stupidity. It'd be one thing if you said, okay, we're going to bring the original cast together, we're going to use nostalgia, we're going to write a new version of the show, we're going to improve it, but we're going to do animated because we can't obviously bring the same actors in anymore, and they're older and all that kind of stuff. So, but we were going to go off the nostalgia of those people. That to me would be a better sell than let's continue the 11th season of a show that like, like I feel you for the people who want to see that go to fruition. It's a whole like
There's
Zack
no people.
Snyder.
It's just me.
Yeah, and no, but there are people. Trust me. There's a guy. Go look up. It's Ryan.
Yeah, there's a guy,
Home.
one single guy, and me.
It's a director from Australia. He's pretty like I follow him on Instagram. It's like it's Ryan Crumb or something like that, his name. But anyways, like there's some hardcore fans of the show, but I don't think there's enough there to pick up an 11th season. Start over, and that would be a way better sell for me.
I don't think we need my opinion on this.
Yeah.
Because like I think I've made my statement on this one.
Yeah, you've been very clear about how you feel.
That's like, let me just put it up in like a simple sentence. For the love of God, no. And then moving on. So,
wait. I know the show. I know the show that you want to see. Animated show of this. It's called Noville. Just Noville. Give me that show. That's what I want to watch.
all right. So our next topic is we're going to be reviewing the episode 10 of Superman and Lois. So not the one that came out this week, but what was out last week. So Tactix, you are the one who Darcy and I have watched 11, so I'm assuming Darcy, you watched 11. Cool. Darcy and I have watched 11, so how about you go first so we know? Oh dear God, that scene. Okay, yeah. T, you go on. Like, what do you think of episode 10?
I enjoyed it. I still hate this whole brother aspect. Yeah, I liked it. I still like the show, minus that one little gripe I have with it. It was interesting to see, excuse me, Superman's mom come back in the form of Lana. That was cool. Umar, not a
Umar's
fan.
face.
I'll wait for my turn.
I know, bro. That face was too loud.
Yeah, bro.
You didn't wait for nothing.
Justice League all over again.
I had no issues with it. I mean, it like for what they're setting up, it only makes sense. And again, my main issue is this whole brother thing. I still don't like that. And they're doing the same shit with fucking Fast and the Furious. So it's like everyone's a brother now, right? So I don't really like that, but I enjoyed the episode, excuse me. And yeah, that's all I can really say about it without going into. Well, I can't go into season or to episode 11 because I haven't seen it yet. But
Oh, I think I'm gonna say it was spoiler. I'm like, but it's you were 2 weeks behind. Who you spoiling for? Yourself?
no, spoiler for myself.
Exactly.
How about you, Darcy? What do you think of episode 10?
Yeah, it's honestly probably my least favorite episode of the show so far. I still enjoyed the show, but it was the most CW that we've gotten. The mother scene, I was 50-50 hate and love on it. I loved Tyler's performance in receiving his mother's love and all that stuff. I just it was harder for me to watch Lana play the mother. There was just like, I don't believe it. I'm not trying anything specific to the actor's acting, but I feel like I needed more of a personality and intonation change in her performance for me to believe it's a different person. Otherwise, it just kind of felt like Lana was getting creepy. It's like went from the girl he used to love in high school to mom.
He totally lost his virginity to her, man.
Oh yeah, I bet, and but regardless of all that,
it's not his mom for real, guy. Like,
no, I know, but because she didn't change enough, I don't know, it was too weird during those moments. I enjoyed once again John standing up to his grandfather. I'm just enjoying that aspect because it's developing his character and showing strength and showing him find a place without superpowers to
he's
realize
gonna get himself killed.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think either Jonathan or the grandpa, or both, they're both like someone out of the two is going to die.
And I'm fine if it's a grandfather, but like you are tribute right now. But yeah, the brother aspect, yeah, not a big fan. I wish we were talking about episode 11 right now because there's more to be said there. But yeah, it was my least favorite. There were some moments in the action that I liked, but then there was just a lot of CW to that action. Like, it felt like the budget was a little bit better. Like, it wasn't as bad as some moments when they get into the superhero stuff and they clearly didn't have the budget and the time to execute in the show. But yeah, it's probably my least favorite. Still enjoyed it, but it was like it dropped to like a 6 for me, and the other episodes have been like 8.5s to 9s, depending on the episode, and yeah, this was like a 6. So
okay, for me, I will say that this episode is my second least favorite. Like, episode 9 by far is my least favorite. It was the most CW for me. This one was it was back on an upward trend, though there are definitely some issues with it. Issue number 1, hands down, Emmanuel Turkey. She's not a good actress. She has no range. She's just very, very I'm reading the lines and that's it. Like Tyler Hoechlin and I don't know the actress who plays Lois. Those people, they become their characters. Like they're acting. She's just like, I'm here. I'm
sorry, what's her name?
I can't remember her last name.
Did you say Emmanuel Turkey?
Turkey. That's a
I
CH.
was like, wait, her first name is Emmanuel?
Isn't it?
I don't think that's how you pronounce it, but
I don't know,
I get what you're saying.
Emmanuel, or yeah. So
Sounds like a man's name, like Emmanuel Turkey.
I believe it is a man's name.
well, now you got me all flustered.
Get it right. Get it right.
I think it's Emmanuel CHRIQI.
Yeah, I'm gonna look this up, and I'll figure it out in a minute. But yeah, I agree. She does lack a little in the range. That's
yeah. And like nothing could have done it more than when she played a completely different character and she acted exactly the same way.
Yeah.
And also, like, to be honest, this like. I like Sam Lane's reaction to this. She's like, I volunteer, and they're like, I don't know if it's a good idea. And he's just like, guys, seriously, she just volunteered, and we need to act fast. So that was a good response because I'm glad they had that moment in it. But like, to be honest, the writers were just trying to find something for Lana to do, and like, this was the only thing that they could think of.
Yeah, and they should just try to hire a dialect coach.
Or just like, I don't know, write something else where Lana didn't have to like embody someone else. It was like, and also like I couldn't get past the weirdness. It's like my ex-girlfriend is like, my mom is going to go inside my ex-girlfriend, which is something I've done too. So it's like
the phrasing you chose there embodies. She didn't go inside; she embodied.
Anyway, I just was like, I guess maybe. I like the ending. Like, I'm glad that like it's interesting that like Superman and Lois has made the solar flare canon for this, at least for this like series. So Superman now granted it was a significantly less powerful version than in the comics. Comics is literally he becomes like an atomic bomb. But it was interesting to kind of see him go like full blast, and also all the other super people going blast. I'm surprised no one died, but okay, whatever. And yeah, so like I would say it's probably like it had a like that scene was cool, but I kind of expected a little bit more for his solar flare, but whatever. I will say that like just going back to what my initial statement, this was my second least favorite episode. I hate the brother thing, just like with you guys. I wish they like. I'm sick and tired of evil, like Kryptonians. We need a new thing, and like we didn't need to add a brother to this to canon to like make this a thing. Because like technically speaking, there's like this guy's landed there, and I'm assuming that Kara didn't land in this universe where like this series is taking place. So I guess they had to replace her with another Kryptonian and have that person being evil and all, whatever. It was all bullshit. So, I mean, I'm glad it's going in a better direction. It just was still, like, it was noticeably lower than what we've had in previous episodes. So yeah, that's just my opinion.
Interesting.
Have you guys figured out the name yet?
Yeah, Emmanuel Shariki.
Shariki. Okay, well.
Yeah, not Turkey.
I said Shirky.
Okay, I thought I heard Turkey, and I was like, yo, what? Her last name is Turkey? Yeah, that was something. She's Canadian, by the way. Montreal.
He is? Oh.
Yeah, I can't, yeah, I'm doing plenty of Googling right now. Born in Montreal, Quebec, Moroccan Jewish immigrant family. Yeah, just a lot of interesting stuff there. But yeah, not Turkey, and I agree with you on the range.
Yeah. Anyway, so T, you have any last minute things you want to say about this episode?
Not at all.
All right, cool. So moving on to our final topic for this podcast is Loki episode 3. And it came out a couple days ago, and it was the latest episode in Disney's Disney Plus episodes and of the Loki series. So I wanted to ask Darcy, let's start with you this time around. What did you think of episode 3?
I knew there was something I forgot to do this week.
You suck at lying, bro.
I know, I do. Yeah, I watched it. I don't know what to say. I enjoyed this episode. I mean, they are movies. Let's be honest here. They're all short movies. And at the same time, I don't know if I was in a weird mood, but I was also not loving it at the same time enjoying it. Like I hate to say this, but I was a touch bored at a period of time throughout watching the episode, and I feel like it was pacing. Like I like how it ended, and it's like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? Okay, we're gonna do this. Oh my god, we're gonna do this, and then this doesn't work out at the end. So that's intriguing as to like, okay, well, what's gonna happen next episode? But there was something like there were moments that I enjoyed in their interaction, and then there were moments where I was like, can we just stop talking and just get to something? I don't like that's how I felt. Like I was like, and the thing was, it's like it felt like it was quality, and I was bored with the quality. I don't know how to put that. So I
hear you.
I was literally halfway through it, and I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, do I tell Umar I'm bored with this right now, or do I lie on the podcast? I was halfway through the episode, like I was like, I paused it. I'm like, I'm just gonna go back to work. I'm like, I'll come back in a minute. I don't know why I'm bored. I think it was just like there was too much dialogue, but it wasn't with Owen Wilson, and Owen Wilson keeps it interesting because he's got that tone and that humor to it that I feel like I was lacking. I felt like it was like she's serious, and it was good and bad at the same time. I don't know.
See?
Well, Darcy, I'm glad you told the truth because I was gonna lie my ass off. Yo, I share the same sentiment, bro. Like this, I was completely checked out of this episode. To be honest, man, like I was backgrounding it, and at times I got up to go to the bathroom, came back, and I felt like I missed nothing. Like it was just like, like. And I watched it. I was stressing about this because I knew that this was going to be one of the topics for today. So I literally watched it. I got home at like 5:15, and I'm like, all right, let me just try to breeze through this really quickly. And it was like, what am I even stressing about? This episode is trash. I'm sure there's good shit in there, and if I maybe gave it a little bit more of a chance and maybe watched, I'm not gonna watch it again. But I agree with Darcy, man. I was just bored with this, man, and I hope this isn't the same kind of pace that we're heading into going forward into this show. But yeah, like the first two episodes with the dialogue was really interesting and it was cool, and like Darcy said, maybe because Owen Wilson was like a focal point there that made it interesting. But like now I'm kind of like with this episode, I was kind of like, I don't care. I don't care.
So just to put you both at ease, this was my least. Like
You're bored.
I was disappointed with this episde. For one thing.
It's like listen, son.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
Kinda. Like I'm like and I'm gonna carry on your metaphor. You're better than this. I've seen you do better. And like this felt like a filler episode, and like a big gaping filler episode. Because for one thing, okay, things I liked. I like the actress playing Lady Loki, Sylvie. It looks like they're trying to make her a blend between Enchantress and Loki. So like I guess that was an interesting twist. Some of the conversations and backstories and like depths of character for her and him, I enjoyed seeing. Others I felt just went on and on. So sorry, I was meant to do positives. I'm glad that they finally, in canon, have, or at least in canon in the MCU, have made Loki bisexual. And also, perfect timing. Let's do it for Pride Month. But like, good they got it out there.
Sorry, that happened. I this is how bored I was.
I didn't realize that at all, bro.
When did that happen? This actually sounds interesting, and I didn't even see it.
I love that. Like every single time I bring up an interesting part of this series, you guys are like, "Yeah, we didn't notice that."
I'm checked out, bro. I told you, man. I don't know what Darcy's excuse is, but I'm like, I'm just gonna wait till the podcast and find the information out there.
So the part was when they're in the bar, and when she goes to him and she says, "So are there any like soon to be princesses?" I can't figure out the exact line, but it's like any princesses. And then she looks at him. Okay, when he smiles, she's like, "Or a prince?" And he's like, "A bit of both."
Yeah, I missed that, but I know I know what part you're talking about.
Yeah. Like that part like blew. Oh, also if like, well, I guess you guys didn't notice that either because the internet blew up with this because everyone's like, oh, during Pride Month they finally made they made Loki bisexual in canon, hooray! So I'm like, yeah, I'm glad that happened. Me personally, I would have wished for a little bit more, but like, hey, like any acknowledgement at every step, let's take it one step at a time. Now the things that I had a problem with. Loki's power is so completely all over the place that it makes absolutely no sense. Like this guy is like, and also they treated him a little bit like in Ragnarok, where he's like more of a jokey character as opposed to like in any way serious. He is meant to be able to, at the very least, take out Captain America. And yet he's having trouble with random people on the planet. He's struggling to take out security guards. Like, what are you talking about? He's getting drunk and like he doesn't have this guy messed up the Avengers and doesn't have a multi-layered plan. Like,
yeah, but I'm not surprised because they do that based off of convenience, right? Like they've done that with Superman so many times where it's like he's like an Omega level hero, but then when it comes to certain circumstances or villains, like he gets the shit kicked out of him.
Agreed, but like in the MCU, they don't usually make these types of like power level abrupt changes. Not abrupt. Like granted, you can argue some things here and there. Granted, but like not so completely inconsistent that it's a completely different power level. Look, we know he's stronger than this. And the fact that his magic has been like parlor tricks has been a little bit frustrating. But then at the end of the episode, a building fell down on him and he stopped it and put it back in its place.
Yeah, that for me is like, yeah, it's one thing to be inconsistent between comic books or series in the same show over the same thing. You better explain it. Like if it's in one series, you got to explain, okay, he was down. I thought they were going to explain it. But yeah, when he put the building back up, I was like, when is that fucking his power? Like I
can see it being a form of magic, but he's never shown that before.
Yeah, like that felt completely brand new. And when he took out the Avengers or took on the Avengers, the thing was he had a whole army behind him. So I figured we could explain that, like in a one-on-one fight, he's not that good. But
But remember when he first showed up on Earth, he took out all of Shield. They didn't their bullets were bouncing off him. He fought Captain America and was losing until Iron Man showed up.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with you. That's all over the place for certain.
Yeah, and I'll like the last thing I'll say is this entirety of this episode should have been like a portion of an episode. It should have been like, yeah, they got stuck there. Yeah, they're trying to figure stuff out. Yeah, like, their ship got destroyed. And then the next thing. You have 6 episodes. You should not be wasting it on, like, yes, there was character development, but not so much that it overrode the filler aspect of this episode. And I mean, guys, if you have 6 episodes, don't waste your time, especially when you ended off on such a high note in the episode 2. This felt very mispaced.
Yeah, sorry, I cracked my knuckles on them. Like one thing I think that might be they might be doing, but it's a failure at doing it in terms of pacing for the show, is that they might just be trying to flesh her character out and give her more screen time because maybe they're going to use her later. But they did that at a disservice to the actual episode itself.
I completely agree, and I think that's what they were doing. So yeah. You guys weren't. I appreciate that you guys were scared of telling me, but like,
yeah, because I thought you'd go be like, oh man, I love this show. This show is still so good. Blah 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 blah. I'd be like, yo, motherfucker, I almost fell asleep. I don't know what's going on.
I wasn't scared. I just didn't want to be the only one left out. I'm like, yeah, I'm right there with you, bud. I loved it.
Yeah, I was just worried that like Umar's gonna be here like, oh. Oh man.
No, I'm with you on this one, guys.
Okay, well, that's surprising and sucks and good all at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I guess Lady Loki, this episode, well, she was good. It just the episode wasn't.
Yeah. It's just pacing. Hopefully the next one's better, like a lot better.
I'm crossing my fingers for people who are listening to the podcast.
Yeah, dope.
Is that how we're ending this?
Yeah.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do the ending. I don't know. I'm like trying to like slowly give it to somebody right now.
I'm just waiting. I just pushed the end button, yo. Like, I'm leaving it to you motherfuckers. But anyway, I'm your boy Tactix. Thank you for watching the Geeky Bros Podcast.
Yo, it's just Darcy here, and I'm sorry that was our outro.
And this is Big Geek Umar. Please like and subscribe. Don't judge us for this. And comment if you can.